Streaming is on.
All right, so you probably heard that.
I did.
And at the conclusion of the call/demo, I will then forward out everybody the YouTube link so they could view it at their leisure. And also, it's an excellent way to disseminate information to people who didn't have the opportunity to join.
Oh, perfect.
But congratulations on not having any technical difficulties.
Thank you. Oh, that's kind of sad, really. But
I see Dina is on the call. She's my sales engineer extraordinaire.
Hello, everyone.
hi, Dina.
She's false modest, so she won't share her greatness. I have to do it for her. Mhm. If her video was on, her face would be beet red right now.
Probably, yes. I'm feeling a little on fire right now.
Is that is it Jess?
Looks like it to me. That should
Okay.
be Jess.
Hi, this is Jess.
Hey Jess, how's everything going?
Okay.
We're waiting for Brad and Courtney to join.
Okay. Is John joining, Abby?
I don't know. He's not in at the moment. I was about to ask him, but I can see he's not.
Everybody is so early, so eager to join this call. I was telling Abby that I join 5 minutes early because what I do is I cast these demos on YouTube and then I send it out to the, to the prospects and customers. That way, if somebody didn't join, they could just disseminate it to whomever internally. So we still have another minute.
Sounds good.
Jess, I assume you're out of Kansas City. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And I see the domain, but is your company's name ts24by7.com or does that stand for something?
That stands for Tech Shield 24/7.
Okay. I have tentative plans to come to Kansas City in the next week or two. Would love to sync up, Jess.
No, right on.
Where are you at?
I am in St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Not far.
Yeah, not far at all. By the way, for you Jayhawks fans, that's your country. Congratulations on your Jayhawks.
Yes, thank you. Well, I mean, it's our country. I'm not
I
a college
forgot there
basketball
you
fan.
could be a K-State Wildcat. I may be throwing salt in the wound.
I'm not a college sports fan of any sort, so it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I'm not really originally from here, so I don't really claim anybody either. So
Where are you from originally, Abby?
Illinois, up by the Wisconsin border.
Oh, okay. Do you call that part of the Chicagoland area or not really?
It depends on who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that isn't familiar with my area, then yes.
Okay.
Not really.
It's
not that far, but it's kind of small town farm country where I'm from.
Okay. I see Courtney has joined. Courtney, hello.
Hello, guys. How is everybody?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. You can hear me.
Yep.
I am in Florida, so it is nice weather here.
It's the calm before the storm, at least in the Midwest. We're supposed to get
I know that.
rain and cold weather.
It's super windy here now.
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
I see somebody dialed in. Is that Brad?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Brad. Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Brad, I mean, do you want to log in? Otherwise, you're not going to see
Yes.
anything.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now with my
Okay.
user email, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Hey, Brad. I guess lastly, do we want to start, Abby? I believe there's somebody else that is
We're
supposed to
missing
be joining.
John.
Yes, John.
We're missing John.
Should we
Yeah.
wait?
I can give him a call, Abby, if you want.
Yeah, he's not here in the office. I can see out the window his car's gone. So I'm not positive if he was planning to join us or if he just kind of passed the torch my way.
I'll give him a call in the cell real quick.
Yeah. For the record, Abby, he did accept the calendar invite.
Oh, okay. Well, then I would assume he's planning to join.
We'll wait, and otherwise we'll start.
Okay.
Well, I got his voicemail on his cell phone, so I'm not sure. I guess, Abby, do you feel comfortable just starting without him and then filling him in? You and I filling him in?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. He
And
typically
also,
takes-
Abby and Jess, just so you know, I'm recording this call, and so after the conclusion of this call, I'll send you the YouTube link, and you could send it to John, and he could watch it in its entirety at his convenience.
Well, that would
Okay,
be great.
perfect.
Okay. All right. Brad, why don't you kick us off with some general introductions then?
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, this is, of course, Brad Allen and Courtney Powles, and we're looking for Kaufelt land titles, looking at some options to just get really better customer service, better functionality, ease of use than what they have today with broad voice. It's just too time consuming when they need to make new moves, adds, and changes is kind of the biggest, I guess, obstacle, complaint, that we have from
Mhm.
Jess, who handles a lot of the day-to-day activities with the computer IT and then the phones, moves, adds, and changes and stuff, and calling customer service and making changes on the system. So they just need something that's better, easier to use. And we're checking with a couple different carriers, and this one came up just as a good fit, I think. But we wanted to get more details. Trying to think what else. There's a couple things I emailed you about before the call. Like the fax inbound lines, how many they would need, and
Okay.
kind of the difference between the different models of phones that they have. Maybe talk a little bit about that. But I think more is just to kind of, since the customer probably, and just, I don't think you guys know too much about net to phone. We probably need to, go over a little bit about what net to phone's all about, and then, just get into, I guess, the questions we have about the functionality and what it can and can't do as well.
Well, great.
Hopefully that covers it. I'm not sure.
Well, Brad, that does, at least for me. Abby or Jess, any questions before, I guess, Dana and I start?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll have some later, but I'd love to just get into it and see.
Okay.
see what you got.
All right. Well, before we delve into the demo and I show you the platform, first things first, who is Net2Phone? Net2Phone is a subsidiary of IDT Corp, which is a publicly traded company, about a $1.5 to $2 billion company. Started off in the 90s. I'm going to date myself as a carrier, building a robust global voice network. In fact, they got their roots by selling prepaid international calling cards. And then they morphed into different businesses, Net2Phone being one of them in the unified communications company. In fact, our platform goes back to 2000. We sold it to AT&T and bought it back for pennies on the dollar in 2006. Rolled it out, believe it or not, in Europe and Latin America. And then we came to North America around 2015. So even though we've only been around since 2015 in North America, our unified communications platform has actually been around a little longer. And some of the key differentiators, rather than show you the 10,000 things that I can do and that everybody else can do, let me tell you what I think are the key differentiators that I believe can impact your business. The first one is we are a carrier. And because we are a carrier, we have that ability to unbundle. Now, what do I mean by unbundle? Most cloud-based companies just have the PBX features in the cloud, the call recording, busy ring, no answer, department ring groups, voicemail, mobile app, etc. And they rely on buying the long haul or the dial tone from wholesale providers. Net2Phone is not. And how you could take advantage of that is, think about in the olden days. If you had 50 users with an on-prem PBX, chances are you did not trunk them or provide voice paths on a 1-to-1 ratio. Because we're a carrier, you guys can take advantage of having separating the PBX features and the voice paths. And that enables you to get, I think, out of the box savings rather than buying what most cloud providers do on a 1-to-1 ratio. Any questions on that? And the reason why I stopped before I go to the other two is I think that's a key differentiator and one that you guys, in reviewing the quote, are taking advantage. So do you understand what I mean by oversubscribing the call paths or unbundling?
That, Abby, did that make sense to you?
Well, to be honest, I'm the least technical person here. I'm more of a user and a bill payer. So
Right.
I'm probably most interested in the customer service and the functionality and, the other end of things. But ease of use is definitely important. And
Okay.
price is important. So as long as that makes sense to you, Jess, and you're following, I'm good with it. I get the big picture of what you're saying. We can take advantage of cost savings. So that sounds good to me.
So right now, right now you have about 45 users. Don't hold me to the exact math. With any other provider, you would have to get 45 call paths. With Net2Phone, we're taking advantage of economies of scale, realizing that not everybody's going to be on the phone simultaneously, just like you would with an on-prem PBX, and sell you maybe 20. I'm just, throwing out numbers, taking advantage of that and realizing the savings. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that dumbed it down enough for me. Thank you.
Just, I assume it makes sense to you?
I'm sorry. I was on. John called me back, and I was talking with him for a second.
Okay.
Could you rehash that for a second?
I was basically saying one of our key differentiators is the ability to unbundle, to have a ratio of maybe 3 call paths for every user, as opposed to other carriers who are reselling somebody else's voice and require a 1-to-1 user to call path ratio.
I'm not familiar with this call path term. Does that mean like an actual physical line per user?
No. So in today's cloud-based phone systems, when you buy from other companies, be it 8x8, Ring Central, Vonage, if you have 45 users, you're getting 45 call paths. Well, think about that. In the olden days, if you sold a PBX for 45, you wouldn't buy 2 PRIs and trunk them for a 1-to-1 ratio. Chances are you would probably put in 15 to 20 call paths for 45 users and call it a day. Net2Phone, because we are a carrier, has that ability to basically sell call paths and unbundle it from the number of users. Does that make sense?
What are call paths?
Call paths is just voice calls, the ability to make simultaneous calls at the same time.
So you're saying that every user could have 3 people on the phone at the same time?
No, what I am saying is that we are taking advantage of larger organizations such as, and I hope I pronounce it right, Kofit Title, knowing that not everybody's going to be on the phone at the same time. And rather than sell them 45 call paths for 45 users, I'm going to sell them maybe 15 or 20.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's our first key differentiator. Our second key differentiator, probably not something you could take advantage of, but because we are the 5th largest global international voice carrier, we not only provide limited calling throughout the United States, but North America and 40 international countries as well as part of our calling plan. So calls to Canada, Mexico, Western Europe, Latin America, those calls are going to be part of the unlimited calling path. So there's no additional cost placing calls for international locations. And then the last thing that is unique is I understand one of the issues you're having is you guys rely on Jess to support your environment, whether it's making moves, adds, or changes, or opening up billing tickets on your behalf. I'm going to show you a little later, but you have the ability to delegate somebody outside of your organization, the customer, to have access to your portal so they can support you, and they will have the same visibility as everybody else. The only thing they cannot do is obviously place calls. But if they want to make changes, delete a user, add a user, reserve a telephone number, send out an email to customer support, they can do that because of we allow third-party people, or the customer can allow third-party customers access into their portal. Any questions on that? Because I know that's a big issue with you guys.
So when you're saying that the third party, that would be Jess and his company. Is that
Correct.
what you're implying? Is we could easily set him up and let him do his thing for us?
Correct.
Okay.
So that way, if you say, hey, Jess, add a user, or hey, Jess, delete a user, or hey, Jess, add a number or delete a number, Jess would have that ability to do so as an admin. The only thing Jess will not be able to do, or any third party, would be to place calls.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Just wanted to let you know with before we do the demo, Brad, you had mentioned about the phones and eFax. Do we want to cover that now or after the demo?
I think let's just touch on it now. The faxing. Let's kind of get that out of the way,
Okay.
I think.
So I understand that you guys are considering between the Yealink T54 and the Yealink T46. Dina could probably better articulate the differences than I can, but the difference basically in cost is the T54 is $1 more than the T46. In my humble opinion, in terms of functionality, they both work the same. The only difference between, in my opinion, and maybe Dina could add some more color to this, is that the T54 has that sleeker, pivotable touchscreen and it looks nicer. So you're not gaining really any more function, in my humble opinion, between the two devices, just more aesthetics than anything else. Dina, would you like to add or elaborate on that?
The only thing that I would add is the T54 does have more buttons on the phone. So if you are needing to have more busy lamp fields or presence on the phone, that would be the better way to go because you'd be able to have more of those buttons on there. But yes, for the most part, the functionality is the same. As I've mentioned, it's just kind of the T54 is kind of the prettier phone and the more sleek phone. So I think you kind of hit it right on the head, Zev.
What about Bluetooth functionality for headsets?
So the Bluetooth functionality is built into the T54 as well as Wi-Fi. The T46 would require a dongle.
Gotcha. And when you say $1 more, you're talking about leasing the phones?
This would be a pure rental, so no lease.
Oh, so rental. So they would never own the phones, just renting them.
Correct.
Okay. Is there any upfront cost for phone rental?
The only upfront cost, and it's 100% pass through, would be the shipping of the phones.
Okay.
We're not marking it up, and the shipping of the phones would not, whether you buy it, lease it from us, the shipping's going to be the same. You can, however, bring your own devices if you want. If you want to purchase the phones or get it from another third party, that's fine too. I will say, I'm just talking about Net2Phone in general. We incent our customers to rent, and we subsequently price it accordingly. So the renting is the better, at least from me, is the best of the three options.
And Zev, the only thing I would caution against with the what we call BYOD, bring your own device. So if you did purchase phones before purchasing anything, I would just verify that it is compatible with our system. 99% of the phones are compatible, but there is that one-off that sometimes they aren't. So before making that big investment, just check with us before making that purchase.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And then I heard there was some questions on the virtual fax. The virtual fax is a flat fee, unlimited faxing, and you have the ability to have an e-fax go up to 10 email addresses, and some of those email addresses can be distribution lists like customer service, sales.
We're getting an echo here. Can everyone mute who is not talking? Maybe. I'm getting a bad echo of Zev's voice. Is anyone else?
Yeah, it was looking like it was off of Abby, so she's muted now, so we should be okay.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll start from the top, but our virtual fax, which is a very efficient, in my opinion, more secure and cheaper than traditional analog fax, but people would fax to you like they would normally do. There would be a phone number, and instead of pointed to a fax machine, it would be pointed to an email address. Each fax number can be pointed up to 10 email addresses, And some of those email addresses can be distribution, like customer service. And the fax would just, rather than a hard copy on a machine, would go into a person's individual email inbox. And it's unlimited. It's a flat fee. So, not really, there's not really much to it. So I was just wondering, any questions, Abby or Jess, Brad or Courtney, on our virtual fax service?
When you say unlimited, is that unlimited fax numbers as well? Does it cost per fax number?
Yeah, so the cost would be per fax number. It's a flat monthly fee and unlimited faxing. It's not, we're not charging you. We're not saying it's the first 100 are free. Anything beyond that, it would be unlimited, both inbound and outbound faxing.
Okay. Can we port our own fax numbers over that we already have?
Absolutely.
Is there a cost for that?
No. In fact,
Okay.
that's how we normally do it. We port numbers to the fax. The only difference is rather than the fax going to a machine, it will be viewed. The recipients will get an email attachment.
Well, that's how they do it now.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
They have no POTS connections at all in the building. So
Okay. Yeah. So there would be no issues with that. So yeah. So any questions on our, I guess, virtual fax services?
yeah, I don't believe that was covered in the quote that we got. Do you have an estimate for how much each fax number would cost?
So actually I do see it in the,
Oh, is it?
I think it's in the quote.
I actually don't have the quote pulled up right now. I think we just got a summary of your quote. So
Okay. I'm seeing it here is $250, and you had an order or quantity of 25, virtual fax numbers.
so $2.50 a month per number.
Yes.
Thank you.
And is that quantity right?
We will. John was talking about, actually he has 25 now, but he's thinking he can pare it down to probably half that.
Okay. That would probably be, like I said, each number can go up to, and Dana, keep me honest, 10 email addresses. Is that right?
Yep, you're correct.
Okay. So yeah, that would be, if you could pare it down, that would be great. And then lastly, in regards to the phones, you don't have to decide now between the T54 or the T46s, but I will tell you, you don't have to get, it's not all or nothing. You can do a combination of, half a dozen with one and the remainder with the others. So just so you know, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing type of thing in regards to the phones. Any questions before we go into the, I guess, demo portion?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Right now, this call is done on our collaboration tool called Huddle. Huddle is a Net2Phone proprietary collab tool, which every user gets a collaboration tool called Huddle as part of their offering for free. There's no additional cost. So we're on it right now. I'm going to share screens. And now you're going to see, wrong. All right, so right now, this is my own personal portal. This is the main dashboard. We have a list of team members, phone numbers, departments, special extensions, different ring groups. We have different schedules, holiday schedules, et cetera, et cetera. This is the main dashboard. At the very top, this camera-like icon, I'm not going to press it because it would, that's how you would launch an impromptu huddle or collaboration tool. If I were to press it right now, it would kick everybody off. But I just want to show everybody that this camera-like icon, which every user is going to get, goes right here. Obviously, I cannot demonstrate the functionality of a physical phone, but I think we know how to dial. But what I'm showing you right now is a soft phone or WebRTC. And to place an outbound call, you would just simply click on a phone icon. And shame on me for not asking this sooner. Can anybody give me a phone number that I could talk or call?
913-210-9498. Nope, 99.
210-1498.
I think it's 9498. Let me see. Hold on.
It's 9498, Jeff.
Okay, you know it better than I do.
So
Call you a lot.
Yep,
210-9418. Did I?
Yep. 9498.
Oh. 8. Okay. Is that right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So you could dial it by hitting the keypad. It's a normal keypad. You hit the phone. Obviously, Jess, when you get it, mute me so we don't get any background noise. All right. So now, all right, I'm going to mute. All right. So from there, I could mute as you just demonstrated. So we didn't have any background noise. Or I'm sorry, I put him on hold. I could mute him by clicking on the microphone. I can add another caller, do a 3-way call. Or I could transfer the call, either a blind transfer or a consultative transfer. Blind transfer is you click blind transfer, the call goes. A consultative transfer is you do the introduction and then you hang up and the other two people call. But if I wanted to do a blind transfer, I could either type in a name within my organization, or I can type an individual department such as billing, customer success, or just dial a number. I'm not going to transfer the call. Now, if let's say this is a spam caller or somebody who's unruly and I never want to talk to the individual ever again, I could click on this little icon with the stop sign, and that would block the caller and hang up. And every time that individual will call us back, they won't be able to get through. And then obviously I'm going to hang up by clicking on the hang up button. I guess any questions on placing outbound calls, transferring, etc.?
Not for me.
Okay. This little icon where you see the 1 is voicemail. Now I'm going to explain the 4 or 5 different ways you could access your voicemail, but this is one. And as you can see, I have 1 voicemail. Hypothetically, if I had, let's say, a half a dozen voicemails, I could click on the icon that says view all voicemails. I like this feature because I may get a half a dozen calls, but 3 of them could be from my softball buddies or family that's not as time sensitive. And I could listen to the voicemails in the sequence that I deem that is important. Rather than on a conventional phone, you're going to have to hear the voicemails come in as the order they came in. Here, I can actually play, had I had multiple voicemails, I could play it out of sequence and what's important to me. Any questions on accessing the voicemail?
Nope.
Okay. Another neat little feature that we have is text and multimedia. So a lot of people, when they want to text or communicate, they do it from their mobile phones. But maybe you don't want to necessarily broadcast your personal mobile phone. You want to do it from your work phone number. You can do it from here. I'm going to do a message. Anybody want to give me a mobile number that I could text to?
Use that
Sure,
same
Sure, I can.
number.
All right.
Okay.
One at a time.
913-210-9498.
Right. Sending a text from my office number. Now I am initiating that text. Jess, if you could be so kind and respond to that text. Now, while we're waiting for Jess to respond, believe it or not, a lot of you're getting more texts than you're probably realizing. So when you're placing an outbound call to a millennial, or chances are most of the calls you're making when you're closing on a house, the only phone they have is a mobile phone. And if it's an unknown caller and you're not in my address book, I can't ascertain if that is a if it's a traditional office number or a mobile phone number. So I may just call and respond. I will call you back later via text. So believe it or not, that's happening right now. And I believe, unless you have this texting function today, that you're missing some form of communications, which is making a call from your office number and people responding via text. If you don't have this feature, you're missing a good chunk of your messages. So we see that Jess responded saying hello. Another nice little feature is the multimedia platform where I can send pictures. And I am calling from the Gateway City. So I will send you something that will signify that I'm calling from the Gateway City. And I sent a picture of the St. Louis Arch. This is great for customers who need to send pics in order to communicate to their customers. I don't know if this is something you'll necessarily take advantage of in the type of line of work you are, but let's say you were a veterinarian or an insurance adjuster. It would be great if you could, send pictures of a sick cat or maybe a fender bender and send it back to corporate for them to look at it again via text. I could also have that ability to forward this text. Let's say I want to forward it to my boss or to somebody else internally. I could either find a person, I could forward it to Dina, or if I have a department, I can forward it to billing. So now anybody in the billing department, let's say that has 10 users, if I send it to the billing department, 10 people will be able to see that text and, like a call center, respond, first come, first serve type of thing. And then I would click on the transfer. I'm not going to transfer it because I don't want to bother my colleagues, but any questions on the SMS or MMS texting ability?
So is this also what you would use if you just want to instant message people in your organization?
So I'll have Dina do that. You certainly can do this in lieu of instant messaging. Dina, what would you say is the fundamental difference between, I guess, this SMS, MMS versus an instant messaging platform services like Teams or Slack?
Well, the only thing is that you would need to be logged into your portal, obviously, to be able to send and receive messages and or be on our mobile application. So the upside to that is you can receive them on the mobile application as well. It does send chat via SMS. So it's using your DID to be able to send to and from your coworkers. So that would be the main difference between our platform and such as Teams.
Did that answer your question, Jess?
Yeah. And so for the PC and PC calling and all that sort of thing, this maybe I'm going too far ahead of your presentation, but it's all web based. There's no software to load on the computers.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. So you can, if I go home and I forget my laptop, I could, but I need to either place a call or respond quickly to something. I could just launch any browser from any computer in the world and put in my credentials, username, and password, and I'm off to the races. Now, you certainly don't have to use it. When I'm at home, I'm a creature of habit. I like to use my physical phone, but when I'm traveling, this is truly a godsend.
So if there was a remote user who worked from home, they would just need basically like a headset for their computer, and they could have a work number there at their house and text and call from that work number.
Correct. So I don't know if you heard me, but I have some plans to go to Kansas City in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to schlep my phone that's sitting on my desk because that would be very cumbersome. When I'm at my hotel room or at a coffee shop, I just fire up my laptop or place calls on my mobile app, which I'm going to demo in a minute. And I'm off to the races. Even though I'm physically in Kansas City, when I make calls, be it the mobile app or my computer, I'm outpulsing my work number, which happens to be a St. Louis number.
Okay.
Any questions there?
Nope.
All right. Here is the call history or the analytics button. Here lists every single call I want. I have the ability to, if I want to archive or download either all my calls or calls from a specific time period, I can generate a CSV or a spreadsheet. Here is another way I could access my voicemail. Again, all my voicemails are here, listened here. Another thing that you guys get that is included is call recording. All calls are recorded. And here is a list of all of my recorded calls. Now, we store the calls, Dina, keep me honest, about 60 days is how long we would store these calls. Is that about right?
It's actually 90 days.
90 days, sorry. We store calls 90 days. If you want to keep it and archive it longer, you can either download it to your laptop or any cloud-based storage facility you have or a SAN. You would simply do this. You click on the select button. Let's say I don't want today's calls, but I want yesterday's calls. We do bulk download. I click on yesterday. I scroll to the bottom, and I could either delete them or download them on the chance that you need to keep calls longer than 90 days. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to cancel my calls. Now, the way I use the call recording is I'm in sales. I'm constantly trying to get better. So oftentimes I'll listen to a call and see if I make any mistakes, or I might share it with a colleague to say, or ask them how I could do better. In fact, I'll show you how easy it is to access a call. I'm going to access a call from yesterday. It is not very scintillating. It's just banal chit chat between me and my boss. If I could find it. Right here. This is a call between my boss and I. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just to show you, here is my name. I recognize his mobile number, and now I'm going to play it.
This is Ben. Mr. Solomon, Zeb Yudovich, how was your travels yesterday?
Zev, like I like them, very uneventful.
Ah, yes, that's
All right. Like I said, the call goes for 93 seconds. I'm not going to play it, but you get the idea of how easy it is to access a recorded call. I could either download it, delete it, or if, let's say, it's an irate customer, sometimes things get lost in translations when you're typing out an email saying customer is super upset with us. Sometimes hearing is believing, so I could just email it to anybody internally and they could listen to the call and respond accordingly. Any questions, Abby or Jess, on the call recording?
Nope.
Abby?
No questions for me.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. I am going to show my mobile app. This is a little clumsy here. Wish there was a better way. So hold on for a second. Gotta enter the code. Connecting my PC to my mobile phone. I used to log in before, but if you're idle for a period of time, it kicks you out. So, all right. Here is my mobile phone. All right. I am going to show you the app. Right here with this number 2 for net to phone is the mobile app, and I am going to launch it. By the way, my apologies, how presumptuous. I'm assuming you guys can see my mobile app. Can you?
Yes.
Okay. So right here at the very top is my call history. Here is a list of all my missed calls. And another way to access the voicemail is from the mobile app by hitting the voicemail icon. To launch a call, you just hit the dial pad, or better yet, I don't remember anybody's number. So I'm going to, Jess, this was the number I called you at 127. I'm just going to click on it again. Now, Jess, I assume you answered it. Can you tell me if the number that I outpulsed is the same as when I called previous? Jess?
No, I can't. It says scam likely.
Okay. Well, I guess that's part of the mobile phone. But if it didn't say that, it would outpulse the exact same number. From here, as you could see, I put him on hold. I could unhold him. I could mute him. I could transfer the call. I could put him on speaker, or I could dial another number if I wanted to transfer that call. To hang up, I click on that red icon, that big red icon down below, and we go from there. Also, I could access my global phone book if I want. There's Dina, and I could simply call her or even send her an SMS, all from my mobile device. And then lastly, just like I sent SMS texting from my computer, I can also send SMS texting from my phone. Now, Jess, can you at least tell me that the text came from the same number?
It came from 314-439-8810.
That
Yes.
is correct. Yeah. So you saw, and as you could see the history, sending text from my office number. You saw me send that from the computer. Jess responded hello from the computer. I sent the arch, and then and then I finally moved over to the mobile app. Any questions on the mobile app?
No, I think that's good. Can you also do the access your voicemail from the desk phone?
Yes, you can from your desk phone. I have a red blinking light. Obviously, that's hard to demo it, but yes. And I'm going to even show you another place where you can access your voicemail in 1 minute. But before I do that, like our service and the mobile app, you're only as good as your internet. As you can see here, I am on my Wi-Fi at the house. So my internet is very, very good. You see that right here? Do you see the cursor over the
Yes.
internet or the Wi-Fi? I have plans to go to Kansas City, and when I drive on Interstate 70 from St. Louis to Kansas City, internet or LTE or G, or 5G is sparse. There's going to be pockets where internet is not going to be very good. And let's say I want to communicate or respond to people who call me. I can, from the mobile app, click on the icon of me, click where it says call options. Notice it says call forwarding off. And I could click on forward only. Now, when people call my 314-439-8810, which is my work number, all calls will get forwarded to my mobile phone. So I won't miss a call, or better yet, when people do call me, it's not going to be choppy because I'm in an area that doesn't have strong, internet services or mobile internet services. It will be forwarded to my to a cellular or mobile call, and I could do that all from the app. Any questions there?
Nope.
All right. Now I am going to quickly move here and show you that any changes I make on the mobile device moves over to here. So call forwarding, forward only, there's the mobile phone. So the changes that I made on my mobile phone automatically populated onto my computer. And now I want to change it because I am home. I do want to answer on my desk. So now I turn it off and I click save. So you can make the changes either on your laptop or on your mobile phone device. Now, Jess asked about email. Emails can be sent, or voicemails can be sent to your email. And not only do we play a WAV file, but we do voicemail transcription. Full disclosure, it's not always 100% accurate. Here's what it says. Obviously, I'll play it and you could read the transcription down here to see how accurate it is.
Hi, Zev. This is Zev. I know you get nervous doing demos, but you're going to do great. Good luck.
So that was the email that I played from my voicemail. So now voicemails can be transferred to your inbox and I could play it from there. And if I have to share, if this was an irate customer, I can forward it just like any email, just like this. I'll send it to Brad. And I could delete it just like any email. Any questions? That is basically the user experience. Before I give you some, I guess, entry level or admin stuff, Abby or Jess, any questions?
I do have a question.
I'm sorry?
Was that you, Jess?
Yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Okay. I just want to confirm that I'm understanding correctly. So for each phone number that a person is assigned, we will need an actual phone device somewhere.
Actually, you do
And the
not.
reason I'm asking is we do not. Okay.
You do not.
Because we do have some people that work remotely 100% of the time
Mm-hmm.
and don't necessarily have a desk or an office
No.
here.
So great question. You do not. So if you have, and I'm using, don't hold me to the numbers, But if you have 45 users, you could say, Zev, I only want 25 phones, and the other 20 users will either work off the computer or the soft phone or the mobile app or both. I happen to use all three. I, like you, don't work at corporate, but when I'm at the office or my home office, I like the look, feel, and touch of a phone. I'm just a creature of habit. Maybe it's a product of my generation. But when I do travel, I like the flexibility and the agility to use either the mobile app or my computer laptop.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
so let me say it a different way. Even if you have a physical phone tied to your TN, that doesn't prohibit you from using mobile app or the soft phone.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
So with each license, you get the web portal and the mobile app, and the huddle that's in the web portal, that's for everyone to use as well, whoever has a license.
Correct. And we also have a separate huddle for we have a huddle app for mobile phones for Androids and iPhone users as well. But yes, you can use. You could theoretically launch a huddle call using your browser. I prefer using the app, but yes, absolutely. Everybody gets this free collaboration tool. Everybody gets call recording. Everybody gets unlimited ring groups or auto attendants, departments. We pretty much give, all of our PBX features are included in the seat.
Okay. And the huddle is something like you just did, where you can invite people outside the organization as well.
Correct.
Okay. There's an app for the computer for huddle.
No, believe it or not. Although Dean, I use I use the web, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe there's an app for the computer. Am I right?
No, it's 100% web based.
Yeah. So for the computer, it's 100% web based.
Okay.
The reason why we developed an app, and Dina, keep me honest, we feel like there's a better experience. Although I have had customers yesterday use their Safari on their iPhone, but I have done both. I get a better experience if I'm doing a huddle call on my mobile device with the app. That's the only reason why we have that app. It's for mobile devices.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Lastly, I'm going to quickly show some administrative stuff. So this is a sandbox or fictitious account. I am, as you can see, the admin. So this is all the views of the admin. Notice all of my team members who have this little headset icon. Those are individual users, and people with the crowns are considered admins. Because I'm an admin and I have 32 seats available, I could add a team member in real time within 30 seconds. And because I have 20 numbers that are still available, I could assign them a number. To add a user is really, really, really easy. I would just simply click on Manage, add a team member. Is it B. Allen at clarisco.com? Did I get that right, Brad?
It's Brad.Allen.
Oh, my mistake.
It's all right.
I'm going by memory, which is feeble as best. I could either make him an individual user or an admin. I could either pick a phone number or an address for his 911, or he can do it when I set him up for a user. Now, let's go with phone numbers. Remember, I had 20 unavailable numbers. And let's say all of the numbers that I currently have are assigned, but I want to give Brad a new number. I could quickly add a phone number. I believe Brad is in the metro Kansas City, so I could either give him a 913 number that will search, or if Brad says, you know what, I want a Missouri, Kansas City number, I type in 816, see if they're available, simply click on it, and boom, Brad Allen is a member of my team, and he has a number. I just provisioned it, and we're off to the races. Now, I'm not going to add Brad to the Sandbox account, so I'm going to cancel. But that's how easy it is. Now, a couple of caveats. If I don't, you see this number right here. If I have, let's say I've, in your case, have 45 users, and I only want to pay for 45, you would then, and you wanted to add a user, you would theoretically have to do some paperwork. We would do a quick addendum, we would add it, and then you could create your own users. Oftentimes, for companies like you, there's going to be turnover. So maybe all 45 are occupied today. Somebody leaves your organization, then you delete that individual. So now you have one available. And then when you backfill that position, you just quickly go off to the races and add them. So that would be the way you could do that. And then lastly, you could either do this at provisioning time. So when you guys do move forward, you could either say, I want Jess to have full access to my environment. Or if you want to do it after the fact, you quickly click on the delegation. You would add a delegate user. You put his email address, and then boom, you're off to the races. So it's really easy to add a third-party person so they can help you manage the business. I only bring that up because I remember that was something Brad had mentioned early on in the call about just having that ability to support with your incumbent carrier. Here it's really, really easy because we allow third-party people access to customers' environment. Any questions there?
So how much work is it to add a new line if you don't have a spot?
So if the customer wants to go from 45 to 47, Brad would let me know. I would do a quick addendum for 2 quick users. The customer would have to sign it, which is done via electronically. And if there is no porting of the numbers, let's say these are new users and they require new TNs, then I could get, then pretty much assuming you guys from when the customer signs, I could probably get you up and running in a day.
Okay. And then they could use their PCs or their mobile phones until they get the actual phone in, until you guys are able to ship the phone.
Great. Yeah. Great question. I was assuming that there were soft phone users. Yes. So great question. If they wanted a physical phone, yes, that would take probably a week and a half for shipping and all that good stuff.
Okay. And the other good thing about this is that if their physical phone breaks, which happens quite often, then they could then have the backup of the PC or the mobile.
Correct.
Until the shipping for a week and a half happens.
Correct.
Okay. In the web portal, we saw where you could list out the various people in the organization there, and where you could search for them and call them from the web portal.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of functionality like can you have all of them up on your screen at once? For I'm thinking like the front desk, maybe they could
Mhm.
see if they are on the phone or not, and that sort of thing.
Oh, so great question. So yes and no, you are limited by your screen. So let me go back to my Sandbox account. I'm going to share screens. Or actually, I won't have to go. I could do this from my own personal account. So most people have a receptionist console with a physical phone. But if you want the virtual physical phone, this little icon with the headset, which is called Archon or Remote Console. So I don't have any favorites, but here are all my contacts. And green light means they're available. Non-green light means they're not available. But you are limited by how big your screen is. And you could add external numbers if you want to transfer to, or if, let's say you just have a half a dozen favorites and you only forward it. I don't. I seldom use this feature, but I could create some favorites and put it into the screen. And let me get an active call. So this was my call history. I'm going to dial it. All right, I'm going to mute or put you on hold. So now my active calls are listed all in this box. And if I wanted to, let's say he says, transfer me to the next available rep, I can either do a drag and drop. So I know this individual is not available, but Ahmed is. And I could either do a consultaneous transfer, blind transfer, or I could just transfer you to voicemail. And that's how I would gain presence using the mobile app. And I'm going to now hang up the call. But did that answer your question, Jess?
Yeah. So if they're green, they're available.
Correct.
If they're gray, then they're on a call.
If they're gray, they're not logged into the system.
Yeah, they're not logged into the system. Correct.
If it's red, they're on a call or unavailable.
Okay.
And then there's a fourth one it's actually blue if they have an active call ringing into them. So you have a lot of different visibility into that.
I'm sorry, did I miss that last part? If it's blue?
If it's blue, they have an active call ringing into them.
So in other words, if I go to Dina and she shows blue, that means the phone is ringing, but she hasn't necessarily answered it.
Exactly.
The moment she answers it, it turns red.
Okay.
If it's one of her pesky channel managers, i.e. me, and the phone is blue and she throws me into voicemail, she'll be green again, meaning she's available for other people to call her.
And Zev, I do apologize. I have another call that I need to jump over to.
Yes, no problem. So Dana, thank you so much for your time. I guess Abby or Jess, any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Abby, you were quiet. I know you said you're a regular user. How intuitive do you think the service is?
It definitely looks user-friendly. It's something we could handle for sure. I kind of got jumped in the middle of the process, so I do not have copies of the quotes or the pricing. So if either Jess or you could get those to me, I would appreciate that.
Okay. I will sync up with Courtney and Brad. Brad was working with a colleague of mine who's no longer with the company. So I do need to revise the quotes. So give me a day or two. I guess before I do revise the quotes, can you maybe, and you don't have to answer it today, but can you let me know what kind of phones you're looking for? Because originally I thought every user was going to get a phone. Now I'm hearing some users may not get a phone. So I guess I would need that information before I could put some final numbers in.
Okay.
So the majority of people would be using phones, I think.
Okay.
It would be mainly. I think it would be less than five or so people that would not be using physical phones. I'm guessing.
Okay.
And you're currently using VVX 401s, but those are leased from their current carrier,
Okay.
so they wouldn't need all new phones, basically.
Okay. And based on our conversation, and again, you don't have to decide the second, but I will need it in order to put the final number in front of you. Do you like the T54s or the T48s?
I think I had talked to John about we had talked about the T54s being $1 more and having Bluetooth functionality. I think John said that you would think that would be worth it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I will include 254s. And then I just want to confirm, Abby, according to this quote, I have 45 users. Does that sound about right?
I believe that number was based on
far as-
phone directory and counting and phone numbers, Abby.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close to correct. I believe John's back in the building too. So after we hang up, I can go collaborate with him and try to get a better idea as far as how many of the physical devices we want, knowing that information now,
Okay.
that we may not need them for everyone.
Okay. And then
But yeah, if you have
secondarily,
already counted the phone list.
and Jess, that is correct. A user would be somebody in the directory. Also, another user, and again, I don't know your environment, but if you have any common area phones like a lobby phone or a phone for a kitchen, that would count as a user. So I guess, do you guys have any common area phones in addition to the call it 45 people that are in the directory?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
Well, we don't here, but I believe some of the other locations may have a conference room phone.
Oh, that is correct.
All right. So let's take a step back. When I think of conference room phones, do you want that traditional conference phone, or would any phone or headset be sufficient?
I am not
We
sure.
would- And I don't know that they're necessary. That's another discussion to be had. Given that we don't use it here, I don't know how the other locations, how necessary they are, if it is pertinent to their daily use or maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good question for John or Janelle, I think.
Okay. Okay. So I guess I could generate a quote in no time. So as soon as you could just button up the number of users, how many users require phones, I can then quickly turn this quote out.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay, so Abby, do you want to spearhead that conversation with John and kind of tighten up the numbers and get them over to these guys so they can get us a quote?
I sure can.
Or okay, I can help out as I can if you need anything.
Okay. Anything else?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Do we have your email address if you come up with any questions?
So when in the next 10-15 minutes, I will send everyone on this call a link to the YouTube demo that you guys can listen at your leisure, and you will have my email address.
Fantastic.
Okay. I think I have on my end one final question. Since I pay the bills, about billing, is it invoiced and sent out? Do you guys refer or require ACHs, or how do you do the billing end of things?
So we 99% of our invoices are sent electronically, or via email. How you pay it is up to you. You could theoretically write a check or pay online. I would say 2/3 of our customers pay online. We still have a third of the customers who still pay with a conventional check. Are you okay receiving your invoice electronically?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Oh,
Don't worry about the mail.
we charge. We're trying to get away from mailing, so we charge to mail it. I could get it waived if be, but we strongly prefer to email our invoices.
Yeah, no. Email is perfect.
Okay. And
Okay. I think that was probably my last question.
lastly, Brad or Courtney, any questions for me?
No, not for me.
No, not for me either. Did a great job. Thank you.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I know everyone's busy. Time is at a premium. Truly appreciate you sharing a portion of your day with me. And if you have any questions, without hesitation, feel free to call me. And I hope I gave you enough to think about. And I look forward to working with you guys.
Thanks so much, Sav. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.